Thank you for joining us today. Another trip to the garden. And somebody told me up in West Virginia a few days ago, said, Brother Ralph, what happened to your garden? We haven't heard from you this year. Well, there's the garden. We've had late frost, then late frost. I lost all my apple blooms but one tree. And so we're just now, we even had frost warnings this week, first week of May. Can you believe that? So I was going to redeem the time. We're home today, and Kobe and I were going to try to clean up some of the beds. And I walked this way, getting these beds ready to put some tomatoes and cucumbers in. And look here what I found. I was going to come over here and pull weeds and get weeds out of here and get this redug and put some topsoil on it. And look what I found. I found a beautiful stand of mustard greens. And I didn't plant these. These are called volunteer mustard seeds. When your seeds from last year are still in the ground and then they flourish and come back up next year, they get nicknamed volunteer. They volunteered to come up, whether it's a tomato or cucumber or squash. And these are beautiful greens. And look how healthy and lush, and they're so good for you. And that is great food, and nothing much better than cornbread and mustard greens or collard greens and maybe a pork chop or two to enjoy together. But here's what blessed my heart. I told Brother Kobe when I walked around the corner and I saw this and how healthy they are. These mustard seeds were in the ground. So you got to remember something. I didn't plant them, and they have been in the ground in the dark all winter. Now this warmed up better than the rest of the place because it reflects the heat off the house, and this is on the southern exposure of my home, so it gets double heat, the morning sun and then the reflective heat off of the house. And what did it do? Well, these mustard greens, they just popped up and started growing. And this is the thrilling part. They have not had any special care. They've not had any special food. I haven't covered them from the severe frost that we've had that took out the apple blossoms. They have survived on their own. And they have now flourished into a beautiful stand of greens that I can enjoy, that I can eat, and that I can pick and take into my house. And they did that at the appointed time. And what blessed my heart, I thought how many times the Christians at church or in ministry, pastors, missionaries, evangelists, you think, man, I'm down in the dumps, I'm down in the dark. No one knows I'm laboring in this field. No one knows I'm working in this church. No one knows I'm teaching a Sunday school class or driving a church bus or working in the nursery, the dungeon. Nobody knows I'm back here. But ladies and gentlemen, look what happens. It went unnoticed, right? It got no special food, none. It didn't receive any special watering. It didn't receive any special care. But on its own, like the psalmist David said, I will encourage myself in the Lord. And that's what this plant did. It encouraged itself. It brought forth, and now it's fruitful. It's bearing fruit, and it's at the appointed time. Galatians 4:4. Every one of you, every one of us, as a person of faith, you cannot look at today and say, this is where I am and I'll never change, or my life will never change, or my circumstance will never change. You know why? You belong to the Lord. We're looking through a glass darkly, and God sees the other side of the hill. And I wanted to encourage you from the garden today and just tell you, you might be a little old mustard green somewhere growing. Nobody knows you're there. You're not really receiving any attention. You're not in a national paper. You're not even in the church bulletin. But boy, God knows where you are, and He'll send the food, and He'll water your soul, and He'll bless you and thrill you. And today, you can bear fruit and be a blessing. And I want to encourage you to serve Him with all your heart. It's a dark day out in our world today, and we need Christians to be faithful and to be fruitful. I love you very much, and thank you for being our friend. I'm Ralph Sexton, and I'm talking to you from the garden.